We help contractors by the hundreds with all of the administrative burdens that surround handling their construction projects. That means helping them with Xactimate estimating, working with them on all the administration of their supplements, and doing the administrative services back office work that enables them to focus on selling, building, and billing.
We see contractors just starting off, maybe they're struggling with the fundamentals of running a construction business. They partner up with us, their process is now defined, they're able to grow their profit margins and actually scale because they're not held back with the burden of dealing with the supplementing process. I feel proud of what we've been able to do in this industry.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's up, everybody? So you might notice that this is going to be a little bit of a laggy, jumpy stream. Unfortunately, even in times of crisis, Cox Cable decides to screw us over a little bit with our internet speeds. My internet's down, so I'm using my hotspot off my phone, and I might be stressing the upload speed to its absolute limits. So hopefully the audio is coming through perfectly fine, and a lot of it's just still images, so we're going to get through it, and everything will be A-okay. So, Daily Hail Forecast, as always, sponsored by Merlin Law Group, C3 Group, and Arlo Supplement / Balance Claims. You can check all of them out in the description that I will put below. After this video, Facebook also updated their interface this afternoon, apparently, so I was unable to change things as stuff was going. So, I'm just going to have to roll with all the punches we're getting here. And again, I apologize if things are a little jumpy. So, weather headlines, jumping straight into it here, guys. We have a chance to get some hail, wind, maybe even some tornadoes possible this evening in Tennessee and parts of northern Alabama. We'll get into that in just a minute. More significant risk is still in the cards for starting probably Friday time frame. Things are starting to slow down a little bit, which can be good for stuff like this, so we'll talk about that as well. And we also have this weather headline I'm going to have all the way up until this whole situation is resolved. Wash your hands, follow CDC guidelines, practice that social distancing. I know we posted on Facebook about a lot of things are shutting down, doing that shelter in place, but essential services, a lot of contractors are essential services. I'm not saying go out and shake everybody's hands or everything, but practice that social distancing, but you guys can still get work done, especially if we get a big storm coming up here in the next few days. Here's your hail forecast for Tuesday, and you can see we got a couple areas that are of interest. We got your main focus, your most significant risk, that hatched area that has up to golf ball size hail. That's going to be for Huntsville, for places just to the east of Memphis, Jackson, maybe by Tupelo, Mississippi, even as far to the east as Chattanooga. All could see storms that could have up to golf ball size hail, even a little bit larger if we can keep the storms a little more isolated. But right now it's kind of looking like you might get that one storm that goes off of a boundary layer that will really get things rocking and rolling. That's your best tornado risk as well, and that could have hail a little bit bigger than golf ball size. So that's where I got that moderate risk yellow in there. So that's for Jackson, Tennessee, not Mississippi, and Huntsville, Alabama. And then low risk pretty much everywhere else. You could see some hail north of the boundary in northern Tennessee. That's over by Nashville. I got that low chance. You could see some $1.25 size hail there. Some hail maybe as far south as Jackson, Mississippi. Low chance there. I got low chance for hail in Birmingham. I think most of that big activity is going to be just to your north. And then if you notice, there is an area where Atlanta is not included, and parts like Greenville and Athens and all that stuff. That is what we have to call a cold wedge. If you came to our forecast our 2020 hail forecast up. I think the Atlanta show and the Charlotte show, we both talked about that, where cool air kind of pools off on the lee side of the Appalachian Mountains. So, on the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains to the east of them, cool air likes to stay there, and that's a real storm killer. So it's kind of looking like that's in place for today. Places like Atlanta and Greenville, and then even further east in parts of South Carolina, we've seen a little bit of severe weather already today, and that low-end risk continues for the rest of the afternoon. Places like Columbia, you get that low chance for some hail. City forecast, we're jumping in and out at Huntsville is our main one that we're talking about here. Storm timeline, at prime storm time right after dinner time, 7 to 9 p.m. Maximum hail size, again, up to golf ball size hail. Could have a moderate chance of at least quarter size hail. It's looking pretty likely we're going to see some decent storms today. I think there's an enhanced risk Storm Prediction Center put for tornadoes, and borderline moderate chance for up to golf ball size hail. I think if there's any storms that do produce big hail, they're isolated, there's a good chance you're going to see some pretty big stuff out of it. So Nashville, go up go up north just a little bit. Timeline about the same, 68, but that hail size, I think, really, again, it's all you gotta do is get north of the boundary that we're looking at here, and Nashville's north of that. So only at the $half size hail, again, moderately low chance, low, almost moderate chance of seeing at least quarter size hail, but very low chance of anything much larger than that. So wind forecast for today, this is pretty much looking similar to what we had for the hail forecast. The only difference is I have Birmingham in the moderate risk, so looking like we could see some stronger wind gusts there. Everywhere in the hatched area as well, so that most significant threat. It's also your threat for tornadoes as well, so just be on the lookout for that for local news, just in case. We'll do any live coverage of any tornadic activity, hail, anything like that at all. Hopefully my internet will be completely fixed by then, so we'll have a nice smooth stream for you guys. And otherwise, low end risk across the board, winds upwards around 60-65 miles an hour. Nothing too crazy, no crazy real wind events today outside of that tornado risk. So pushing forward, there's that future radar. Here is the most recent run that we had, and you see all that isolated activity kind of forming almost in a semi-discrete, so you have the storms very close to each other, line extending from pretty much the Tennessee-Kentucky border down south towards Birmingham, Alabama, and that's your chance of seeing hail upwards of golf ball size, and you can see those tornado chances. Again, that's going to be starting pretty just a couple hours from now, again, mostly just to the east of Memphis. So okay, someone just asked Jackson, Tennessee. So if we're looking at it here, the basic timeline for Jackson would be after about 3 o'clock through about 6 o'clock. So you're going to be earlier in the timeline. You're going to be right near where storms are going to be forming. So keep an eye on that. Again, Jackson, Tennessee, you could see upwards of golf ball size hail as well. So just keep an eye on the skies, and tune in here on Facebook or wherever you're watching us from, and we will do any live coverage if needed there. So tomorrow, no hail is expected across the country. It looks like this system's going to be pushing off the coast. You could see maybe a couple strong wind gusts in the morning across the Outer Banks and that part of North Carolina. But otherwise, I think it's going to be pretty quiet across most of the country. So that makes us push straight ahead towards the look-ahead map here, Thursday through Saturday. Here is your Thursday chance, looking like just around to just south of Kansas City through a good chunk of southeastern Kansas, possibly into north central Oklahoma. I know it's a little different than what we had yesterday, but it's looking like there's a very strong cap. So cap that keeps all the storms in place, keeps it from anything breaking through to really make any big storms happen. That seems to be really strong on Thursday. So that's going to limit any storms at all likely for Oklahoma or Texas. But for Kansas and parts of Missouri, it looks like we could see some storms. This will be later in the afternoon, possibly into the late night hours again, unfortunately, for Thursday. And that could be mostly hail risk for your Thursday. Pushing forward to Friday, pushes a little further south, so I think just east of Oklahoma City right now. But again, it's looking like some of the stuff that we are looking at what triggers these storms, the big system is pushing in. The models have been trending a little bit slower and a little bit stronger. So that means that the little blob I got for Friday there may push west a little bit as we continue to inch closer to Friday. So it also not only push west, but might push a little later. So I think the better chance for storms, it could possibly, if things keep slowing down in the trend that it's going, push all the way to Saturday. So we'll be watching that super carefully. Honestly, if you guys want big storms across like Texas, near the Dallas area or Oklahoma City, you might want this to slow down a little bit more and make it more of a Saturday risk. But right now, looking like anywhere Tulsa, Kansas City, Joplin, areas like that. Still Dallas possibly, and then farther east into the Little Rock area. All those areas look like we could see some storms going into your Friday. And just one second here, guys. Our chat's a little chatty, and you don't need to hear those noises. And then finally, moving forward to Saturday, things push east Saturday. Again, this is subject to change. Again, we're 5 days out. Severe weather, especially in an early season like this when everything's very dynamic and changing pretty rapidly. I wouldn't be surprised if this pushes to the west or expands in scope or whatnot. Well, it's very possible we could also have a crashing cold front that minimizes that hail risk. So right now for Saturday, looking like a hot spot that's had severe weather all month, really, across Tennessee and other areas within the Ohio, Mississippi River valleys. So that's what we're looking at between today through Saturday. We'll be keeping you guys updated. We'll be doing any sort of live coverage if anything happens this afternoon and evening, whether it's in Huntsville or Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis, whatever. We'll be here. We'll do live coverage both for hail and tornadoes and any particularly strong winds, though I don't think that's as much of a big risk today. Follow us here on Facebook. Hit see first. You don't miss any of that live coverage since that does happen just kind of spur of the moment instead of always at 12 p.m. like we are now. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. We've been posting stories on our Instagram story and our Facebook stories since yesterday, as slowly cabin fever will kick in as we're working from home here. And also just a note, we're thinking would you guys be interested in a more casual hangout version of a video where we kind of go over, I know people have a lot of questions about the weather side of things, like what differentiates things from being like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star map within Hail Trace, or how we name the maps and all that kind of stuff. If you guys are interested, put in the comments below any weather questions you want. I'm thinking about putting one together in the next day or two where we'll just get on here and I'll have some graphics to kind of show you some stuff. Any questions you guys have, I'm more than happy to answer them, and we can just kind of chat for a little bit for that, almost like a virtual happy hour thing. So if you're interested in that, again, put it in the comments below. I guess I can't say hit like because I don't hit like on a certain section of the video, but just let me know, and then we can set something up with that as well. And you want to contact us any other way, give us a call, 855-334-4245. Again, all of our phones are with us in our respective homes, so we're able to answer questions, answer the phone like nothing's wrong. So give us a call if you're first time with Hail Trace, you want to find out more, you got some questions maybe on how to during the social distancing and the shelter in place and all that stuff, how to get in touch with your clients. We can give you some pointers on that, or if you need a training with our software, all that can be set up by just giving us a call, emailing us, or visiting our website. Have a great day, everybody. Hopefully do those hail dances and we can have some live coverage maybe a little bit later on this afternoon, and if not, I'll see you guys again tomorrow at 12 p.m. Talk to you later.